Hi guys, welcome to Darren's Travelling Corner, and today I'm going to be at the start of something new for this channel. So I'm starting a new series called Point A to B, and this is where things start off. There's probably be like a trial run just to see how it goes, but you've joined me at Cosham railway station, and I plan to take you from point A to B from this station of Cosham to Bosham, and it'd be like an experiment just to see which one gets you there faster out of bus or train. So there'll be a train to Bosham and then a bus back here to Cosham, then a bus back here at Cosham. And then with that being said, I can then give you the results. Now, in order for this to be a fair experiment, because you've got change at Havant here, when you get the train to Bosham, you've got to change at Havant. I'm going to end up changing at Havant for the bus as well. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, why call it point A to B if you're not really just going point A to B? You have to make changes along the way. But the way I look at it, in this case, it's be point A. When I say point A to B, I mean point A being the point where you started at, and point B being the final destination as to where it's going. So join me back in a bit as I take you on the train and we make our way into Havant. We've got to change at Havant in order to catch the connecting train to Bosham. See you in a bit, guys. And welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now on train. So this one goes to Brighton, and I'm going to be getting off at Havant. So this one calls Havant, Emsworth, Southbourne, Chichester, Barnum, Ford, Angering. No, I'm going to have another look at Worthing, Lancing, Shore-on-Sea, Southwick, Portslade, Hove and Brighton. I think I'm going to have another look at that because I think I might have misrouted it. But I know it calls it Havant, Emsworth, Southbourne, Chichester and Barnum. Yeah, Angering, Worthing, Lancing, Shore-on-Sea, Southwick, Portslade, Hove and Brighton. That's better. And this train takes about 6 minutes to get into Havant. So what we do is just come off at Havant and then wait for another train. But join me back in a bit, guys, as I get into Havant and I'll keep you updated on my journey there. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now at Havant railway station, and this is where we'd have to change for trains going to Bosham, because we arrived so we started at Cosham. As I say, we're now in Havant, and it's one of those things that you just have to always take into account. Now, SWR, or South West Trains as they were at the time, they used to run their trains to Brighton many years ago, but they stopped doing it very long time ago. And also, Southern used to run their directs from London Victoria to Southampton Central, but then they've scrapped those as well. So if you want to, instead of being able to do a direct from London Victoria to Southampton Central like you used to be able to, if you want to do that now, you would have to change here at Havant, and yeah, it can get very annoying. Also, Southern had scrapped the direct from Portsmouth and Southsea to Littlehampton. So if you want to go to Littlehampton, you would change at Chichester, because they used to run from the Brighton, so they did a Brighton train but Littlehampton has now becoming in and out. Some trains still terminate at Littlehampton, but the one that I'm talking about, the stopping service, it now turns Littlehampton into an in and out. Also, as I mentioned, that was the one that used to call at my home station of Bedhampton. They don't even do that now. We're just about to see a goods train coming. It's just sad. And that train now terminates at Chichester. So now if you want to go to Littlehampton, if I want to go to Littlehampton now, not only would I have to change here at Havant, but I would also have to change at Chichester as well. So it can get very annoying and quite tedious, if I'm being honest with you. Not exactly ranting, I'm just really disappointed. But anyway, join me back in a bit as I make my way towards Bosham on the next train. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me on the train just coming out of Havant. Now, there's a couple of things I needed to note as well. So at the moment there are engineering works taking place outside of Gatwick Airport. So this train usually runs to London Victoria, but because of that, it's now terminating at Gatwick Airport. And also, in a slight turn of event, I don't know whether or not it's a temporary thing or it's permanent, but this train also calls at Littlehaven and Highfield, and these trains typically don't do that, but at this time it is, and there's a very interesting railway network we have here in the UK. Also, I must also point out that some of the trains here, the London Victoria ones that start at Portsmouth Harbour.
We are now approaching Warblington.
Yeah, I was going to say. So this train to London Victoria would normally do a stopping service up to Barnham, so it calls at Warblington, Emsworth, Southbourne, Nutbourne, Bosham, Fishbourne, Chichester and Barnham, and then it does Horsham, Crawley, Three Bridges, Gatwick Airport, Horsham, Crawley, Three Bridges, Gatwick Airport, East Croydon, Clapham Junction, London Victoria. But as I say, this time it's terminating at Gatwick Airport and it's calling at Littlehaven and Highfield.
This is Warblington. This train is the southern
I'll let Julie Berry do the talking.
Gatwick Airport, calling at Emsworth, Southbourne, Nutbourne, Fishbourne, Chichester, Barnham, Bosham, Littlehaven, Highfield, Crawley, Three Bridges, and Gatwick Airport. The next station is Emsworth.
Thank you, Julie Berry. She's been doing the voiceover on these trains for years, but not only does she do Southern, but she also does all the other ones on the other GTR company. So if you're on a Thameslink train, you'll hear her there. And also, if you do a Gatwick Express, you'll hear her there as well. I wonder how the GX trains are going to fare when going between Brighton and London Victoria.
Welcome aboard the Southern service to Gatwick Airport. The next station is Emsworth.
Thank you for pointing out the next starting point of this series. So I think to myself, if this works, which I think it will do, I'm going to do my next route from Emsworth to Petworth. Drop me back in a bit, guys, as I take you on the journey and carry on with the journey, and I'll see you at Bosham station. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me at Bosham station. It's the first time I've come to this station and actually got off, because usually when I'm around this area and I'm on the train, I'm usually going past. But this time I actually got off at Bosham. So what we're going to do at this point is I'm now just going to take you around the station. We've got 2 platforms, and we've got just mainly trains going to between Portsmouth Harbour and London Victoria. Oh, we have a cancelled train to Gatwick Airport. The 30. That makes sense. That's why I was waiting 2 hours. That's why I'd have been waiting 2 hours at Cosham if I'd missed the 11:24. Because this one has been cancelled due to a fault in the train. Can't really argue with that. It would have called Fishbourne, Chichester, Barnum, Horsham, Littlehaven, Ifield, Crawley, Three Bridges and Gatwick Airport. What I do find puzzling at the moment is why are they suddenly now calling at Littlehaven and Ifield, because these trains usually don't. So they're calling there now, and as I say, they usually don't. So I'm going to go over, because this is the way out. This isn't exactly disability friendly. No, this isn't exactly disability friendly because, well, you've got step-free access. You've got step-free access to the station, but it's limited to platform 2. So that doesn't really help any matters. Doesn't help if you're in a wheelchair and you need to board at platform 1. That's a shame. Also, Bosham has short platforms, so if a train has 8 coaches, I will take that back. There is step-free access on platform 2. Platform 1 didn't look like it from the distance. So I'm just going to cross over. But as I was saying, this station also has short platforms. So if an 8-coach train calls at this station, you need to board at the front 7 coaches. So these platforms can only fit 7 of those coaches. But join me back in a bit as I take you to the bus stop as to where I'll be boarding to do the return trip back to Cosham. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now at the bus stop outside the White Swan in Bosham. And yeah, it's the first time in a while, or if at all, I've actually got off here at Bosham. Now, it looks like it's going to rain later. Because I don't like the look of those clouds over there. Really don't. Yeah, it looks really threatening. Might be expecting rain later. But I've got a 700 due in 6 minutes. 56 comes here as well, because they go between the 56s come here as well. You've seen in an earlier video that I rode around Old Bosham in my West Sussex video as well, and hope you enjoyed that. But in this case, I'm here at Bosham and I've completed the journey. Now, bearing in mind, you have to take into the factor, you have to factor in waiting times as well. And with that being said, it took me 37 minutes to get the train from Cosham to Bosham, because what it does is it start the timer as to when I boarded the train to the point where I got off at the last stop. So that's my destination. So that's how I arrived. That's 37 minutes between Cosham and Bosham on the train. You have to be careful though, because if you miss a train, you're waiting an hour for another one. But this part on the way back will then help you to determine how quick it is to get the bus from here in Bosham to Cosham. I think I have an idea as to which one's going to win, but I'm still willing to take the experiment because that is what I love doing. Anyway, I'll see you back in a bit, guys, as I'm on the bus making my way towards Haven't, because I've got to change there again. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys, and this is the start of the return journey from Bosham to Cosham. Now, just remembering that I said earlier that it takes 37 minutes on the train between Cosham, between the two places. So this will be the point where I look at how long the bus takes. Now, you might see me do something at Havant bus station, but then I may end up getting straight off this bus and onto the 23, and in which case you'll just see me do that, because it just depends on how quick they are. I mean, the 23s are every 10 minutes, so I think it might be just a case of me hopping off one bus and straight onto another. So I think, to be perfectly fair, it's either going to be train wins or it's going to be inconclusive, as in they both take the same amount of time and you don't really know which route or which method of transport is the clear winner. So anything can happen. I've just noticed that we have a cancelled train for Gatwick Airport, and it's because there's a fault on that train. Yeah, you can't really control that, unfortunately. But already we have arrived into the rail replacement bus stop for Nutbourne, and that's within about a couple of minutes. So already you can tell it's on par. But join me back in a bit, guys, as you see me at either Havant bus station or on another bus, as this journey continues. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now back at Havant bus station. Now, it just comes to show that I've just missed a 23, because there's not one due for another 14 minutes. I wonder what was going on, because normally the 23s are every 10 minutes. Mind you, today is Saturday, so that might play a factor in that as well. Another thing that you'd have had to take into account in this competition, that the buses are always going to be second behind trains, I've noticed. One thing is because you've got to factor in the different stops, because if you think about it, a train from Cosham to Bosham, you only stop off at different points, so you only stop off at one stop per place, if that makes sense. Whereas that's on the train, but on the bus you have to, there's multiple request stops along the way, so you just have to, and also you have to take into account the flow of passengers. Now, we have got a multiple of buses here, so you can go to Cosham on the 23, or you can go to Cosham on the 20, albeit it'll take a lot longer because it goes around all the houses, and 20 goes to Wesley, whereas the 23 takes a much shorter route. But join me back in a bit, guys, as I try and make my mind up as to which bus I'm going to be getting to make my journey back to Cosham. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now at the front of a 23. We're just completing the bus journey to Cosham. Well, train's definitely won this one, because it's been 45 minutes so far, and I've only just left Havant and when a red light. Oh dear. So we've had a delay on the buses, and we're going to be delayed even further because we're stuck at a red light. Oh dear. It's definitely more convenient with the rail, so I'm just torn at the moment between the idea of, do I put the bus up against the train knowing that the trains are always going to win, or do I just do it anyway just for the fun of things, just to look for the margin between the both, because it was 37 minutes between Cosham and Bosham on the train. And yeah, you just got to factor other things as well when you're doing the bus. It's been a very interesting video. I certainly can't wait to do more of these as I travel around different parts of the UK. But join me back in a bit as I wrap everything up, and I will see you back at Cosham. See you in a bit, guys. And welcome back, guys. You've just joined me back at Cosham, and I've decided to come off the red line in the end, because that will then allow me just to cross over, which I'm going to do now, and then hop on another 23. Well, just as a final outcome, this journey on the buses have taken over an hour. Thank you. The journey on the bus has taken over an hour, because you have to factor in that the bus has been delayed, and also you have to take into account other factors as well, such as passenger flow. Now, I've just noticed that there is a banner up there, because this year is the 100th anniversary of Portsmouth gaining its city status, so expect there at some point in the year to be a special video. I'll show you the banner again. Expect there to be on my channel a special video celebrating 100 years of Portsmouth being a city. It also comes as an interest that it was in 1925, that it was the year before Portsmouth became a city, that its main station was renamed Portsmouth and Southsea. So in 1925 its main station was renamed Portsmouth and Southsea, and then it was the year later that it became a city. It's just incredible, and I was born here in Portsmouth, in the Portsmouth area, but Cosham is a part of the Portsmouth Council, which is why you get to see banners such as this one, and I look at that with pride. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.